In just 4 years, trade between India and Russia has exploded. It's gone from $13 billion to over $68 billion. Sounds like a huge win, right? But there's a catch. A $58.9 billion catch. For India, this isn't a success story. It's a strategic crisis in the making. And the United States just dropped a bombshell that makes it even worse.
Welcome back. Today we're breaking down the massive trade imbalance with Russia that India is desperately trying to fix. So what does a $58.9 billion deficit actually mean? It's simple. India is buying way more from Russia than Russia is buying from India. Let's look at the numbers. Last year, India imported a staggering $63.7 billion worth of goods from Russia, but its exports to Russia, a mere $4.88 billion. That's a ratio of about 13 to 1. For every dollar Russia spends in India, India spends $13 in Russia. This isn't just an imbalance. It's one of the most lopsided trade relationships between any major economies. And as India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar just said in Moscow, we need to address that urgently.
Over the last 4 years, Excellency, our bilateral trade in goods has increased, as you have noted, from more fivefold, from $13 billion in 2021 to $68 billion in 24-25, and it continues to grow. However, a major trade balance has accompanied the growth. It has increased from $6.6 billion to $58.9 billion, which is about 9 times. So we need to address that urgently.
So how did this happen? One word, oil.
After the Ukraine war began and Western sanctions hit Russia, Russia needed new buyers for its oil. It started offering it at a discount. India, which imports over 85% of its oil, saw a golden opportunity. India went from buying almost no Russian oil to becoming Russia's second largest customer, right after China. Russian oil now makes up a whopping 35% of all oil India imports. This single-handedly drove the trade deficit into the stratosphere. From an economic standpoint, it made perfect sense. It gave India cheaper energy, helped control inflation, and provided energy security. But this dependence came with a massive hidden cost.
And that hidden cost is now being paid in geopolitical capital. The West, particularly the United States, is not happy. The Trump administration has just slapped a 50% tariff on Indian goods. That's double the previous rate, and officials are making it clear this is a direct penalty for India continuing to buy Russian oil. President Trump himself called out India and China as Russia's largest energy buyers, saying they're funding Russia at a time when everyone wants Russia to stop the killing in Ukraine.
Again, prior to the invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, India bought virtually no Russian oil. I mean, it was like 1% of their needs. So the argument somehow now, as the percentage has gone up to like 30 and 35%, that somehow they need Russian oil to cool their homes or cook or drive their cars is nonsense. And what I do in the Financial Times article is I illustrate how Russian refiners have gotten in bed with Italian refiners in a game in which they get cheap Russian crude, follow me here, they get crude at a discount, and then they make refined products which they sell at premium prices into Europe, Africa, and Asia. It's strictly profiteering by the Indian refining industry, big oil. Now think about India when you think about the tariffs we're putting in place. 25% because they cheat us on trade, 25% because of the Russian oil. The Russians use the money to build more arms and kill Ukrainians, and so American taxpayers have to provide more aid, military style, to the Ukrainians. So that's insane. Please, India. Like, what you're doing right now is not creating peace.
So India is caught in an impossible position: anger its new strategic partner, the US, and lose access to crucial markets. Or cut off Russian oil, jeopardize its energy security, and potentially spike inflation at home. It's a lose-lose scenario.
But oil isn't the only problem.
Even if India wanted to export more to Russia to balance the scales, it can't. Why? So India is stuck paying for oil in dollars or other currencies, deepening the deficit, while its own products can't easily get into the Russian market. It's a perfect storm for a trade imbalance.
So what is India doing? The situation is critical, but not hopeless. Minister Jaishankar laid out a multi-pronged strategy during his Moscow visit. They're even negotiating a massive free trade deal with the Eurasian Economic Union, which includes Russia. The goal? To hit $100 billion in trade by 2030. But the big question is, will that future trade be any more balanced? The $59 billion deficit is more than just a number. It's a symbol of the incredibly difficult tightrope walk India must perform in today's fractured world.
On one side, there's its historical partner, Russia, which provides vital, cheap energy. On the other, its crucial strategic partner, the US, which provides security, technology, and market access. Getting this balance wrong has billion-dollar consequences.
India's message to Russia is clear. We're happy to be your partner, but this relationship can't be a one-way street. How Russia responds will determine not just the future of their trade, but the strength of their entire alliance.
What do you think? Should India prioritize cheap oil from Russia or align more closely with the West and accept higher costs? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more clear explanations of complex geopolitics. Thanks for watching.